Good morning, my friends. Traj here, back with some more Helldivers 2 content. I hope you guys have been enjoying Helldivers as much as me. Every single day it seems like something else comes out, something to make a video on. And just last night, guys, we closed in on almost 800,000 active players on Helldivers 2 at one time, 30 days after a launch. So just to summarize that destroys GTA 5's peak at any point. They've never had that many players on at once. That destroys Destiny's peak by far. And that puts Helldivers 2 above Fortnite and titles like Call of Duty for the past month, which is not an easy task. You see some of these massive studios put endless time and budget into games just for them to fail just a few months later, for like Skull and Bones, for example. And I'm not saying these games are failing, but the finals, it has so many players, so many active players in the first few weeks, but it's so hard to keep them entertained, beyond a few weeks. I feel like people nowadays, gamers, just everyone, we have TikTok brain, man. People need fast, quick, they get bored, they need something new, but Helldivers 2, they have us by the balls, and I'm excited. They can have my balls. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I'm going to censor that out, but again, guys, 750,000 players. I believe 450,000 came from Steam, PC Nation Rise Up, and the other, I think 350K were from PlayStation. So we're doing this all without the Xbox players, which turns out they're never going to be able to join us. So pour one out for our Xbox players. Actually, that's a damn shame, honestly. I know sometimes we all have our preferences when it comes to systems, but for the war in the name of democracy, I think we could all use a few extra soldiers, especially up against the final boss, Joel. And if you guys don't know Joel, apparently Helldivers has a singular dev who has a big pull on, the major orders where the enemies attack. So I don't know about you guys, this is something I wanted to address, but last night, so March 1st, Friday night, the enemies felt way stronger than the last few days. And I haven't hopped on yet today, I'm about to, but the enemies definitely seemed like they were a bit stronger, and everything points back to Joel, the single game dev. I don't know if he's upset that we, completed the last major order so fast, but yesterday's felt difficult. For every few titans, like on Helldive mode, dude, there was like 8 titans in a frame at any given second, and even on lower difficulties, I was seeing hundreds of chargers at once. So I think Joel was up to no good yesterday. I do plan on making a video kind of diving into exactly the things that this guy might be doing. Right now it's a lot of speculating, but the CEO did confirm on Twitter, the CEO of Helldivers confirmed that yes, this dude Joel is an absolute beast when it comes to the how involved he is. So, and again, kind of hats off to their CEO. Dude's super active on Twitter, allows content creators to make videos like this, but it's really smart. He's pretty much putting the bait out there, and we're all taking it because we're sharing these quote-unquote leaks with friends who then have FOMO, who buy the game, so it all makes sense. But it's all starting to work out for the Helldivers, and for good reason. Again, this game, before we kind of keep chatting about some things going on within the game, I just wanted to say, like, Helldivers 2, I got people that I'm playing with on Discord, some friends that I haven't played with since like Gears of War, dude. Like, there's some people out there that this literally has revived their love for games, and it makes sense. Sometimes after like a long day at work or school or whatever's going on, sometimes getting on like a PvP game, and this doesn't happen for me. I happen to be cracked on the sticks, but I'm sure getting on after a long day and just getting shit on in a PvP game will get old, you know what I mean? This game, there's so much more to it. You're having fun, you're playing with friends, it's not PvP. While you can still compete and see, how fast you can complete, certain missions, and if you can complete a Helldive solo, like there's of course ways to flex and show who's better, quote unquote. But something about, having a common enemy with every player out there just makes this a lot fun, man. It really does turn this into like a family-based game, if you will. So, we have one common enemy. It turns out there's a new enemy faction coming out soon, which we're gonna make a little video on as well. So again, if you guys have been enjoying this Helldivers 2 content, if you could just like and subscribe, it does let me know that I'm doing something right here. So back into the stats. So just to summarize, 750k players, 450 coming from PC, about 300 to 400k coming from PlayStation. That means we are in striking distance of 1 million players. And that's not something a game can accomplish, maybe for like a few hours after launch, when all these Twitch streamers are forcing it upon us and playing all these new games and people get FOMO and buy it and all that shit. Maybe then you can see that peak, but a month after launch, 1 million players for a co-op game. It's amazing. They could be setting the new meta here. And that brings us into our next kind of topic here. So the meta, could Helldivers be molding, could they be shaping the new video game meta in front of our eyes? So there's not just the price point. So of course, like Palworld Helldivers was only $30, which I think is just an easy way to stand out, right? Your friends tell you to get a new game, you're like, let me guess, it's $70 and we're all gonna be off of it in 3 days. No, it's $30, it's a new game, check it out. It's just a lot easier to pitch to your friends. So in that regard, I think they could be setting the new meta, but also as far as how gameplay pans out, you know what I mean? So again, kind of speaking of what we were chatting about earlier, PvP seems to be the meta for the most part. There's either like a story mode game where you're playing alone, or you're in a PvP game where you're playing against other people. There wasn't really an in-between. Obviously there are co-op experiences, but nothing like Helldivers. This really is kind of like a first of its kind. I'm sure there might be failed versions of it out there that maybe fell just a little short. I did see that Halo actually had a game like this in the works, but pulled it because they didn't think it'd be received well. So, this co-op, different difficulties, and AI being as smart as it is, these enemies are very difficult in Helldivers. As you guys know, every mission is completely different than the last, and I wouldn't be shocked if this does kind of, like I said, start a new trend. We might see more co-op experiences with different difficulties and harder enemies. And again, I think we're only at the way beginning of the Helldivers journey. Obviously we are. I mean, the amount of money that they have flowing right now, there's a lot of things these guys can add, and we already know we're in great hands. I've mentioned that before. Seems like a great CEO. Their dev team is second to none. Just keep in mind, guys, this is the same game that was capped at 400k players, and the servers went to shit 2 weeks after launch. In that short window, within a week after the servers capped, they doubled that to allow 800k players. They may have to up that soon though. We're getting close to that. They might have to bump that up to 1.2 milli or something, dude. So these numbers are getting insane. But yeah, and obviously it's a lot of fun. Whether you have a casual friend or a sweaty friend that wants to be the best, you guys can all hop in a Discord, dick around, and try to extract, at maximum difficulties while getting your samples. And there's always these funny moments that are happening throughout the mission. So I can't get enough of this game, dude. It's all I'm going to be playing for a little while now. There are some fun games coming up, but Helldivers is always going to be in my mix. It truly is one of a kind. And then of course you have the solo aspect where you can hop on after a long day, throw on some music, and just solo Helldive. And it truly is like throwing yourself into a movie. So game's in a great spot, getting close to 1 million users. Joel is very active when it comes to, sending swarms at us and the different major orders and where they attack, but it is on us to keep spreading democracy, folks. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm going to keep pumping out Helldivers content, so I hope you guys do enjoy. But if you do, guys, be sure to subscribe. It is your way of letting me know my content is somewhat decent. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and let's get them damn robots and bugs. Peace.
Half their stories, they be made up. I can't believe in cap